NFL season's over, officially draft season. Let's talk about the actual NFL draft focus here instead of our usual fantasy football. Prepare for, the rookie draft, Devy draft that I'm having currently. But anyways, here are my top quarterback lists for the upcoming NFL draft. So I've only watched 7 quarterbacks, mostly during live games. I did look for a couple highlights before this, and I'll throw some comparisons in the league that I have coming into the season. First, I only have 7 right now. My number 7th ranked quarterback, Spencer Rattler. So the reason why he's so far away is because first of all, he's almost 24. He struggled as, like a legit top 5 prospect. But his last couple of seasons in South Carolina, he actually improved a little bit, even though that football team, at least on the offense, is pretty bad, especially on the O-line this season. He still makes those mental mistakes that he did in Oklahoma, those random interceptions, which is the reason why he got replaced by Caleb Williams. So right now I have him ranked number 7. My current grade before, the combine, I have him as a late 2nd, early 3rd, depending on, how he does in the combine. But I'm leaning more late 2nd right now. So my current comparison for him is essentially Zach Wilson this season. Like, you'll see glimpse of, that greatness in Zach Wilson during the season. He'll make those ridiculous throws, and then for the next 6 plays, it's just terrible. That's basically what I expect from Rattler if he started in his rookie year. This year's Zach Wilson. They're pretty much the same size. Zach Wilson's inch taller and a little heavier, but the arm talent, both of them, pretty ridiculous. And that's one of the reasons why Zach Wilson was taken so high. He essentially came out of nowhere. He just became the number 2 pick. But yeah, right now, let's see the draft board here. So I gave him a late 2nd. I expect Tampa, maybe. Rams, if they don't get a quarterback. The earliest is Rams. Tampa, if, for some reason Baker only gets a 2-year guaranteed contract. I see these early teams here trying to trade up into the late 2nd, maybe. Or for some reason, it's too much of a headache. He'll fall definitely. At worst, I think he's a 3rd round pick. Maybe he goes to Atlanta here, Detroit, maybe also Detroit here. But they're about to pay, what's his name, Jared Goff, probably like a 4-year deal. So, and they just drafted, what's his name, Hendon Hooker. Although, yeah, I don't have any hope for Hendon Hooker, unfortunately. Denver, maybe, Vegas, Seattle, Atlanta. So if he doesn't get sniped at the late 2nd, one of these would definitely take him. But right now, definitely a late 2nd. Like QB7. QB6 right now. I've only seen like 2 games, but it's Michael Penix. And they're both live. Like, he's impressed. Don't get me wrong, he looks amazing in college. But, man, he's gonna be 24. It's the reason why Spencer Rattler's so far away, too. Because when Zach Wilson got drafted, I think he was a junior, true junior. I think he was under 22. That's one of the reasons why Will Levis, although I had I think mid-1st round, the reason why the NFL didn't like him is because he was 24 when he got drafted, or almost 24. And that's a lot of although he was pro ready, he still had a lot to learn. But anyway, Michael Penix. I've only seen 2 games. One of them was against Oregon, and he looked pretty amazing. But thing is, nothing really stands out. Like, he's just one of those pretty amazing college quarterback, and I can't seem to picture him being a top 18 starting quarterback in the NFL. Maybe like bottom 12 if he does end up going early, but right now I have a late first, early second grade. Reminds me of Teddy Bridgewater in Louisville. Like, although I think he has a much better arm than Teddy Bridgewater, it's just Bridgewater was so amazing in college. It's just he didn't project to be a good NFL quarterback. He was the he looked like a game manager kind of quarterback. Let's see how he looked, pretty much similar height, similar weight, hands, definitely much stronger arm. Like I said, he gonna be up in the 20 to 32 starting quarterback range if he does get drafted. I have him going late first only because some of these, early, like for some reason New England passes on a quarterback, Washington, Giants wants someone to groom, Minnesota, Atlanta, Vegas, even New Orleans, right up into the late first round just to get that 5th-year option, which is really important for quarterback. That's how Jordan Love essentially got prepared for the NFL. All right, next it's having a pretty similar. All right, so next quarterback is Bo Nix, which I had the same tier as Michael Penix. I saw probably 3 games for sure. The one against Washington, and I think the USC game, and I think Stanford, I forget. But anyways, same tier as Penix. Pretty good athlete. It's just his stint at Auburn, although he was highly recruited, he was young, man, and they had too much expectation and he just couldn't live up to it. But when he transferred to Oregon in a much friendlier offense, he managed to improve, and now he looks like a late first, early second, at least in my opinion. But I've seen some mocks that's having him like a mid first, which he's too old in my opinion. Like Kenny Pickett, he was almost 24 when he got drafted. If he was 21, he would have gotten like in the top 10, especially with his production. But with his production and his age, I don't see I wouldn't want to spend a top 20 pick on him. And my player comp is Sam Howell, which I had as the QB1 in that Kenny Pickett class, although I had him as a late first, early second prospect also. I mean, Bo Nix is much bigger and Sam Howell's much thicker, but they both have that sneaky athleticism, move out of the pocket, gain yards if needed, and make the necessary throws. Although I think Bo Nix might have a slightly stronger arm, but Sam Howell has an above average, and that's good enough for the NFL. His comparison is Sam Darnold. Oh wow, I didn't even know that. Anyways, I expect him to also go in the late first, like Michael Penix, early second at the latest. Like the same reason, like some of these quarterbacks prefer him over Penix because there's no health concern. He can move outside the pocket. He can Basically like what Caleb Williams does, just off platform throws he can make, he can adjust. That's the thing Penix doesn't have. Penix is more of a pocket passer. That's why I comp him to Teddy Bridgewater. But anyways, let's go to my number 4 quarterback, which is JJ McCarthy. He's slowly becoming, the QB4 lately because he's so young. This is one of the reasons why he's worth like a top 15 pick. Actually, what do I have him ranked as? I have him as a top 20 prospect. So essentially any pick from 11 to 20 is where I would expect him to go, or I would theoretically draft him. It's not quite top 10 because he didn't show that much, elite production, but he does have above average, measurables as a starting quarterback. Tall, a little bit too small, but he's very athletic and very strong arm. Not like in the Mahomes or Josh Allen tier, but definitely a tad like below that. Like I guess but anyways, my comp for JJ McCarthy as of right now is Russell Wilson. Although, Russell Wilson was a 3rd round pick. Just the way, I'm not comparing them to their size, I'm comparing them to their ability. Like Russ was super athletic, but he didn't rely on his athleticism to gain yards. He relied on it to make the throws. Like he'd go out of pocket, but when necessary, he can gain those extra yards. Although, there's a big size discrepancy here. They have similar like play style in college, although Russ was more, productive because he had a much better system around him. And a lot of time Michigan didn't really expect JJ McCarthy to, take over a game. He played within his, the game plan, and with that they were able to win national championship. And let's move on to my 3rd prospect, which is Jaden Daniels. I expect McCarthy to maybe hit top 8. Like his floor, his ceiling is probably Atlanta, number 8. If for some reason they don't trade for a veteran, they don't pick up a veteran like Russ or Justin Fields or Kirk Cousins, that's my ceiling. But my floor is probably the Rams or Pittsburgh, depending on how Pittsburgh wants to go into the season, still with Kenny Pickett. Anyways, Jaden Daniels, great breakout season, essentially catapulted him into the top 10. Like before this, he didn't really have, as a quarterback prospect, he wasn't really in the radar in the 1st round at all because he hasn't really improved. It's his 5th year, and all those years he's shown his athletic ability. He just never improved as a passer enough to warrant, that ceiling that most NFL evaluators are looking for. Like, look at this. 2022 only had 17 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. I remember him as his 1st year, I think it was Arizona State. It's so much hype because he looked amazing, and then following years just didn't live up to it. But man, great Heisman season. He had elite weapons, but he also looked elite in the field. Like, comp right now might be too easy, which is RG3. I think he might be faster. No, RG3 ran a 4.3, but he might be a little much better passer than RG3 was coming into the league. But RG3 was, I think, a junior when he came out. Why is this not clicking? Anyways, RG3. Let's see. Pretty much, yeah. Thing is, this is like a very basic comparison because of their running style. Although, like I said, Jaden Daniels progressed more as a passer, but RG3 was much closer to Lamar Jackson than Jaden Daniels is closer to Lamar Jackson, if that makes any sense. I think RG3 is will be faster than Jaden Daniels, but Jaden Daniels has a much better arm, much better touch. But man, RG3 during his rookie campaign was probably one of the best rookie years for, this type of quarterback. He was just unstoppable. It's just unfortunate that he got hurt. We miss on, matching his potential. And the good thing about Jaden Daniels, why he's in his top 10, is because although he's a 5th-year senior, he barely turned 23. He's like 6, 7, 8 months younger than Bo Nix, Michael Penix, Spencer Rattler. And he doesn't have a injury history. He's just had a meteoric one season like, Joe Burrow had in 2019. Anyways, all right. So Jaden Daniels, number 3 ranked prospect. And my number 2, this was pretty difficult because coming into the college season, I was projecting Drake May to overtake Caleb Williams. But he didn't have a great season. He had a mediocre season. And the reason why I still have him so high is because traits. Elite arm, elite size. He's shown he can, has what it takes to produce. For some reason, he lost Josh Downs. Tess Walker was out for the first half of the season, and he didn't really, he didn't take that next step. Although, it's not like he had a bad college season. He just didn't at least replicate his 2022, which made him such, a highly touted prospect. He just, like I said, didn't take that next step. I mean, if he reproduced the same production and ability like this season, for sure I would have had him 101 above, Caleb, like everybody does. He was hard to project a comparison because there's a lazy comparison that it's, Justin Herbert, which is, I get it, big bodied, elite arm, athletic for their size. It's just they don't play similar. Like Drake May, he would run the option. Maybe that's because of, North Carolina's offense, how it's built. But they're not similar players. Herbert's more of a pocket passer. Even though, he has the size and athleticism to not be. That's where, even when he was at Oregon, he didn't take advantage of his size and athleticism enough in the game. He was just sitting in a pocket, finding the open man. But my comparison is Carson Wentz. Also, could theoretically say Carson Palmer, which is also close, but it's been a while since I've seen Palmer. Oh, what? Oh, look. Wentz was a Palmer clone. But anyways, Wentz is more athletic, but Drake May has a better projection as a passer because Wentz was really raw and Wentz was kind of old. I think he was a senior when he came out, but that class, he just saw like that prototype build just catapulted him into 102. And man, Wentz, what a fall from grace. It's such promising career, and then he tore his ACL, and then he was just never the same after that. Made the same mistakes, never improved. His stint with what's it called? The Colts ended badly. Washington, terrible. Got replaced in the end. But anyways, yeah, expect May to be a top 5. Floor is gonna be 5, but I think he could go as high as 1 if for some reason Chicago first the measurables over the production and ability that Caleb has. But guaranteed he's not gonna go past Washington. But I mean, anything can happen, but for sure not New England. And if for some reason he gets to 5, I'm pretty sure LA is gonna get like a king's ransom from like Atlanta, Minnesota, Denver, Vegas, New Orleans. But anyways, and to the 101 prospect, best prospect in the class. No surprise here, it's Caleb Williams. Alright, so I struggled to find a comparison because everybody and their mama is comparing him to the Super Bowl champ Patrick Mahomes. Well, I see it, like I do see it. It's just, oh man, that's too much high of a praise. And even when Patrick Mahomes was a prospect, he was all traits. He didn't produce that much in college. Like, he's shown glimpses, but he was a moldable prospect. But anyways, Caleb Williams more refined as a passer, and his ability to manipulate the pocket is just elite. And this might be my comparison might be an insult, but he's like Baker Mayfield to me, but like a much better, like a rich man's Baker Mayfield, like a much more refined passer, a much more fluid in the pocket. I mean, they both went 101, but when Baker went 101, it was a surprise because he got that production, he got that swag. The reason why everybody was surprised because his size, he wasn't that, mostly generational quarterbacks are 6'5", 220, rocket arm, productive in college, and none of those. I mean, Caleb Williams has a pretty good arm, above average, but he doesn't have that rocket. His size kind of hinders him. I don't know how big his hand size is. That might be a negative because he did fumble a lot in college, and that's one of like the reason why I compared him to Baker Mayfield. He also has small hands and had a bit of fumbling issues, but it's not like egregious. I just didn't want to compare him to Patrick Mahomes in the league. But like when Baker Mayfield this year got out of the pocket, was able to make people miss and then still make the throws to like Mike Evans. That's what I expect Caleb Williams his first year. Baker's, it doesn't show the stats here. Oh, it does. So like, let's see here, 28 touchdowns. Okay, maybe not 28, probably like 23. No more than 25, no less than 20, and then 4,000 yards, probably like 10 interceptions. Kind of stat line I expect from Caleb Williams. It's rookie year, and that's why he's going 101. It's just can't quantify his feel for the game. That's why everyone's comparing him to what's his name, Patrick Mahomes, because it's just feel for the game. Although sometimes he takes too many sacks, but also he makes up for it by finding the right read, although he sometimes relies too much on, you know, the big play. That's why he gets sacked a lot or gets strip sacked. But for the most part, he always makes, oh, not always, but he makes those plays more than he don't. That's why he's such a great prospect. But anyways, that's it. It's my top 7. But anyways, that's it. It's my top 7 quarterback. Caleb, Drake May, Jaden Daniels, JJ McCarthy, Bo Nix, Michael Penix, and Spencer Rattler. You know, there's other quarterbacks like Michael Pratt and Joe Milton. I just didn't watch more than one game, and I can't form an opinion at this time, but we'll see later into the draft season. Peace.